We have a great guest tonight, too. She is an Oscar-nominated actress and a five-star individual overall. Her highly anticipated new movie with Ryan Gosling is called The Fall Guy. It opens in theaters Friday. Please welcome Emily Blunt. Are you getting taller? I feel like you might be.
I have massive platforms.
Okay, I was like, wow.
We're just gonna, these are just my legs.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I heard you on with Howard Stern this morning.
How do you think I did?
I think you did great. I think, not only did I think you did great, I feel like you and Howard have really good chemistry.
I think I have great chemistry with Howard.
Howard Stern.
You know, we spoke on the phone for like half an hour after.
Afterwards? Oh, he didn't get enough, I guess, huh?
Didn't get enough.
I was thinking as I was listening, like, these two should do a show together, really. But I do feel like you have good chemistry with anyone you choose to have good chemistry with.
Well, I mean, it's easy with him. He's a great conversationalist. It's like kind of playing ping pong with someone exciting.
Yes, it was fun. It got very personal. Did you say anything you wish you hadn't?
I always say stuff I wish I hadn't.
Did you have to text anybody? Did you have to text John
No,
afterward?
I didn't have to text anyone, but I knew that he would ask the types of questions where I'd have to sort of snake my way out of it somehow. And, like, you kind of go in bracing for impact a bit.
I liked it when he was talking about, he was asking you if you and John walk around naked around the house. And you...
What did I say? Did I say, yeah?
You said you do, and then you did not answer whether John did or not.
Well, I don't think it's fair to sort of reveal that.
No, I think that's...
I think maybe when John does Howard Stern, he can talk about anything nude with Howard.
Oh, maybe they could be nude during the interview.
Oh, see that? Well, Howard sounds like a never nude. He just sounds...
Yeah, and you described it, I think, quite beautifully because Howard hides his body from his wife, and then you said, when you're slithering into bed.
But I get that feeling of him just surreptitiously slithering into bed quickly before she sees him.
I think it rang a bell in his head, and he thought, yes, I am slithering into bed.
He's the best, though, isn't he?
He is, yes.
He's like a sweet pea, which sounds like a ridiculous thing to call Howard Stern, but I think he's kind of a sweet pea.
He's definitely changed a lot over the last 30 years,
He has.
for
I
sure.
think he said, like, a lot of those times just ruined his life, and he was like, I can't do that again. I've got to be nice now.
You've been promoting The Fall Guy for quite some time now, months.
You're like, too long.
You and Ryan were great on the Oscars. You were
great
funny on the Oscars. No, Ellis? No, you guys were really great on the Oscars. Because there's a lot of planning that goes in, and then a lot of times, like, the writers will write stuff for the presenters, and sometimes they will do it, sometimes they won't do it. It almost never feels natural. But you guys, and speaking of chemistry, I mean, you and Ryan Gosling have really great chemistry.
I mean, Ryan Gosling has more chemistry than a meth lab, let's be honest. Like, he just has it just brimming out of him. But
he does. Yeah, he does.
He's got all that banter in him, just locked and loaded. It's just easy.
Even as a vaguely heterosexual man, it's hard not to blush in his presence. I mean, it really is.
You know, we were being interviewed by this male journalist, and he said, if you, Ryan Gosling, you just got that thing where someone walks in and you just look them up and down and you assess them, and it makes me really nervous. And then Ryan did look very suspicious and looked him up and down, and I was like, oh my God, he does do that, I mean, Ryan has an expression that I like. At most times he looks a bit suspicious. Like, if you compliment him, it's like he's lost his glasses. He's like looking for the nearest exit. He
doesn't like it?
Oh my God, he like withers. He just hates it.
And so when you guys are doing stuff together, do you jump in and help him?
With what?
When he's being complimented?
Yes, I have to.
Do you feel uncomfortable when you are getting compliments from people?
I used to. I think if you're English, you feel everyone is being insincere. I feel we have that common trait.
Well,
I mean, you sort of bat away nice things people say too.
I am uncomfortable with it, but it doesn't necessarily mean I think they're being insincere.
Okay.
It just makes me go like, I don't know.
I think that's the kind of inner sound I make. I think when I first came to America, it was alarming how easy Americans find it to look someone in the eye and go, "You are amazing," you know. And I was like, "What? What is that?" I had like an allergic reaction to it.
Your parents, I've met them, they're lovely people. Are they effusive in that way about you and your
like more so
sisters
now.
and brother?
Something like with age or something, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, that
more
makes sense.
effusive now
Yeah,
than they
your
used
whole family is like super talented. It's
think so.
almost ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not right.
Is it competitive? Did you feel like that made you who you are, having so many talented people in your house?
I mean, I think I definitely grew up in a family where everyone was embraced for like who they were. Like I didn't grow up in the family where my parents were too pushy, nor did I grow up in a family where they were overly complimentary, like and blowing smoke up our asses. I mean, I
think you told me that when your mom met Ryan, she was quite smitten by him.
So she was like, "Look very nice in that white suit." I was like, all right.
It is weird, like how
I was like, you're at a 10 on the creep factor right now, okay?
We don't want our parents to have any sexuality, and yet we would not be here if they didn't.
No, I know. Have you had to have the birds and the bees talk with your kids yet?
Well, I told my son, who's 30, I just told him a couple years ago.
Okay, good. I'm glad Kevin's grasped it now.
Yeah, I told Kevin.
That's why he looked different today. He looked different. He looked a little bit shocked. A little bit.
The way I told him was like fully. My mother never
had the chat.
No, my dad either. Well, my dad and I really didn't talk until I hit 25. Anyway.
Perfect. That sounds like a great father. That's like.
No, he was a great father. He was at work doing something. What we don't know.
Yeah.
He would come home at night, and then in the morning he would get a suit on, and he'd go back to whatever it was he was doing. And it wasn't like I'm like on the way out. He's like, "Oh, by the way, penis goes in the vagina." You know, like it
just
was...
lob it in.
You know what? I feel like we've gotten way off track of the movie. A little bit. Let's take a break. We'll collect our thoughts.
And then I want to know if you get naked in front of your children.
Yes, okay. All right. Emily Blunt is here. Her movie is The Fall Guy. We'll be right back.
How'd we do, boss?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was amazing. It was so amazing. We're going to go do some karaoke if you like karaoke. You know, you could come. Like I would like you to.
I'll be there.
Okay. I don't know what that was. That was just so awful. And
Really?
yeah, who's she?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holster that.
Yeah, it's holstered. It's done. Forget. You never saw it.
That is Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling in The Fall Guys, which is, you know what this movie is?
What?
It's like a movie. It's one of these movies we're going to be watching for the next, like, 30 years.
Jimmy.
Like one of those classic movies that you're going to go like, oh, I want my kids to see this one. And I do think that. I mean,
Be on our poster. Just put it on the poster, guys. That was so wonderful.
And I have bad memories of The Fall Guy because The Fall Guy was a TV show.
Yes, Lee Majors' TV show.
Yeah, it was on Saturday nights, and it represented me not being out with any girls. I distinctly remember. And I love Lee Majors. He was a $6 million man, and then The Fall Guy. But I distinctly remember everyone being at the prom, and me watch that theme to The Fall Guy kicks in, and I was like, oh boy.
I mean, listen, this is no slight on Lee Majors, but now if you're not at the prom, you could be out with Ryan Gosling.
I know.
So it's like
Your kids, your daughters have met Ryan?
They are so obsessed with Ken. You know, we've...
yeah, my daughter, too. She's 9, and...
Just wild.
She met him at the Oscars, and she was
What
like...
did you do?
It was like one of these, like, you know, we didn't even know, like, she had that in her, really.
Yeah.
Because she likes, like, Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift or whatever.
Yeah, and they also are at that age where they're 10, so they play it kind of cool, you know, and... So they did get to meet him finally, and he popped over with Ava and the girls to say goodbye. They stayed in New York while he was doing SNL. And he brought them this massive box of roses that he'd had in his dressing room for SNL that spelt Ken. And he just said to the girls, I just want to really thank you for all the support for Ken. And they literally were like, oh, like it was just... And afterwards, like, my 8-year-old was like, and they smell so good. And I was like, almost like she was talking about him, you know?
You know, my son, Kevin, who's, again, 30 out, had the same reaction when your husband, John, came over to our house. He was like, there was definitely, like, some kind of, yeah, that sort of thing.
I think John likes that reaction. I mean, I
Well,
think he
why
probably liked
wouldn't he
more
like
of that from me. When
Did the whole family go to Australia when you...
They all came to Australia.
They did, yes.
Yeah. And look, I know everyone comes out and they talk about an Australian animal story, but I do have one. And is it boring to talk about a spider story? Have you had too many of those?
No, but yeah, you're right, though. People do, it does seem that, and we do have some Australians who are fleeing the animals there.
Australians.
Yeah, they actually...
Are you so sick of hearing people talk about spiders? Oh, look, see, that was...
These people are totally out of it, though. They think LA is clean, okay? So just know we're coming from a different place up there.
Okay, so Australia was very welcoming, loved it. The spiders were also very welcoming. And there was a night where I was just sitting having a quiet drink with John on the terrace, and I looked inside and I saw one of those huntsmen. And it's not like, you know how people go, it was the size of your hand. It was like a bird in full wingspan.
They look like a crab,
It was
right?
like that. It was like that. It was, and I was about to take a sip and I went, you're up, you're up. Nope, no, you're up. I'm not, I won't. And John is very good with most insects, but he's got a bit of a thing about spiders.
Especially,
but I was like,
you've probably
you're still
never
up.
seen a spider of that size, yeah.
So just seeing him go and get a Tupperware and try to work his way up to putting the Tupperware over the spider and trying to act kind of cool about it, he went, okay, I'm just gonna, you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna, okay, we're just gonna go in. Okay, here we go, yep. And like, talking his way through it. Then I got the paper and I slid the paper under.
Oh, you helped.
I handed it and then kind of backed up. And then he walked out and he said everything was fine, but then got outside and it was pitch black, so he couldn't see it, but he felt the spider go around the Tupperware. Thanks anyway. And I was like, oh my God. And then he released it, shook it out, but didn't know if it was out because it was dark. And that was the inside inner scream.
Can I tell you how I would have handled that?
How? Killed it.
No, not, well, I don't know, maybe. If I could have, I don't know. If I had like a bow and arrow or something, yeah, maybe. But I would have thrown the Tupperware into the jungle or whatever. Like,
I know. Why did you keep the Tupperware?
Like,
I don't want it.
It's not like you're gonna pack that and bring it home, right? I'm
not gonna put the leftover pesto in it. Just chuck it.
But then, you know what? He's Jack Ryan, and neither one of us are. So I guess that's the kind of heroism that you display. I wish I'd known about this spider thing when you guys were living across the street.
No, you would have been really mean, and
yes, I would have.
We don't tell you our vulnerabilities anymore. We don't trust you. Anymore.
Yes, no, but now I know one. So
yeah, there you go.
Get ready for Christmas.
Perfect.
Well, it's great to see you. Congratulations on the movie. The
Thanks.
movie is The Fall Guy. It opens in theaters Friday. Emily Blunt, everybody. We'll be right back with Owen Teague.